Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the SFX Loop. I am your host, Jay Byrne. This week I want to talk about something. Everybody's had their own take on physical media and the death of physical media. I kind of want to talk about a little bit of my history with physical media and where I think it's going. We are definitely looking at the death of physical media in stores, no question. As far as going to places like Best Buy or Target or Walmart, FYE still exists and I'm pretty sure they still have physical media, but their stores are a little harder to come by. And it's probably just a matter of time for them. But I got to thinking about this because a couple weeks ago, Titanic came out in 4K. And I wanted to pick up a copy of Titanic. Now, I checked the stock in all my local stores. I mean, this is Titanic, James Cameron's Titanic, okay? This movie has been available everywhere, constantly, all the time. And so I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I should be able to find this no problem. Well, I checked stores. Best Buy, none of the Best Buys in my area had copies of Titanic. But Best Buy, yet again, I guess Best Buy is in a physical media phase out now. The beginning of 2024 is supposed to be the end of them actually selling movies in the store. Blu-rays, DVDs, 4Ks, those. They're gonna still keep up with the games, but they're not gonna do movies. At least that's the rumor and that's what's floating around. There's no solid information from Best Buy about this. They haven't actually said that they're gonna do this. But it's, well, no, they kind of did, but it's industry speak and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so Best Buy didn't have any copies, which surprised me. I mean, this is Titanic, freaking James Cameron's Titanic, okay? So I checked Target. Target showed stock in most of their stores. I went through 2 Targets. I placed 2 in-store pickups at 2 different Targets that said they had stock. They both told me they didn't have it. After about an hour, I'd get a message back saying, oh, we're sorry, we don't have your order. So I ended up having to order Titanic off of Amazon, only for it to show up in Target like 2 weeks later, but that's a whole other story. But that just got me thinking. I'm like, if I can't even find a copy of Titanic in 4K, James Cameron's Titanic in 4K, I mean, we must really be seeing the death throes of the physical media market. Like, boutique labels, Shout, Criterion, Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, those type of labels are still going to stick around because they have an online ordering structure. They stock on Amazon. You order directly through them for certain ones, like certain titles by Vinegar Syndrome and whatnot. So that type of stuff is still going to be around, but prices are going to jack up. Things are going to get expensive. All right, you're looking like no cheaper than like $40 a disc for like a new 4K release. Maybe you get lucky and get a $30 Blu-ray release of something that's kind of obscure or maybe not as big of a deal. Let's put it that way. So that stuff's still going to exist, but it's going to be a different model. We're going to be ordering online, which is fine. I've gotten used to it through the pandemic, from like 2020 to say like 2022, around there, 2023. I got very, very used to just ordering everything I wanted online. So I'm kind of comfortable with the process now. If I can't find something in store, I just order it online. I wait a couple days, I get it. I pay for Amazon Prime, which just keeps going up and up and up. That's a whole other story. But this is the state of physical media. Us as collectors, if we want to be collecting movies, anything at all, like on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, you're not going to be finding this stuff in stores. Within, I'd say, a year, going to a store, a physical store to buy this stuff is going to become almost obsolete. You're not going to be able to find it. I mean, like I said, if I can't find Titanic in 4K in my local stores for sale, I mean, there's no hope. finding more obscure titles from like Scream Factory, or Vinegar Syndrome has never stocked in any of the stores I go to. Arrow sometimes. I can go to Barnes and Nobles and I can find Arrow sometimes, and it's usually overpriced. Same with Criterion. I can find them at Barnes & Noble, but they're overpriced. So, what do I think about this? I mean, I grew up collecting movies. That's been my thing. I've been collecting movies for years. Like, as long as I can remember. Since I was like 17 or 18 years old, I've been buying. I started with VHS. I went from VHS to Laserdisc. Then I went from Laserdisc to DVD. Then DVD to Blu-ray. Now I'm doing 4Ks, but I still buy Blu-rays because Blu-ray is still a viable format. For me, I think if we're talking about what the best home media format was, period. What is the best home media format of like all time? I think Blu-ray wins the war. I think Blu-ray is actually the greatest format that's ever come out. And people probably surprised by that. You probably think I'd say 4K, but I don't believe 4K is the best format that's ever come out, because I honestly think that if a film is mastered properly and transferred properly, the Blu-ray can look great. Like on a home screen, anything from like 55, 65 inches, maybe when you start getting a little bit higher than that, you're going to start noticing some stuff. But most of us, regular people, are dealing with 55, 65 inch screens, tops. And I mean, that's humongous compared to what I grew up watching movies on. I mean, a 40-inch screen was like having a movie theater in your house. It was like, whoa, you got a 40-inch screen? I mean, God, 50. I mean, I have a 55-inch screen in my living room, and it's like, it's perfect for me. It's like watching movies in my own house. I've got my surround sound system, my 4K player. I mean, I've got everything. I mean, I never went over 5.1 surround. I have 5.1 set up, and I think 5.1 is perfectly fine for a home format. I haven't gone into Dolby Atmos and that type of stuff, only because it's kind of hard to hang speakers in my living room, and my older receiver actually does support Atmos, but I'm not sure that I can get the actual, I don't think I can hook the speakers up, but it'll convert Atmos. It's an older receiver, but it works fine. It works perfectly good for everything I use it for, up to 5.1, 6.1, 7.2. Like, it works. It has no problem with those formats. And being that I had such a hard time finding it in the first place, like when I was searching for a receiver quite a few years ago, finding a decent one that actually worked and didn't give me problems, the fact that this receiver, it's a Yamaha receiver, has lasted me, God, years now. 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years. I don't know. I've had it for a long time. The fact that it's lasted me this long just proves to me that keep it, use it. It's a piece of audio equipment. If it works, it works. Got a little off topic there, but let's get back onto physical media. And I just, yeah, I think Blu-ray was the pinnacle. I don't think we needed 4K. I think we could have just continued with Blu-ray. Like, Blu-ray titles, a lot of the Blu-ray releases that I have that I'm upgrading don't really need to be upgraded. The 4K titles are always skeptical. It's like, is it really going to be an upgrade? Is the HDR going to make the movie so dark I can't even see it? There's a whole other freaking argument you can get into, is HDR. I feel like HDR sometimes has its purpose, but for certain films, HDR isn't necessary. It's just not necessary. Like, and televisions are so janky with how they handle different HDR formats. I mean, everything comes almost standard with Dolby Vision now. And Dolby Vision is weird. Like, some TVs play it right, some TVs don't. Sometimes it's too dark, but you can't really do too much adjusting to Dolby Vision because Dolby Vision is kind of a locked format. I actually prefer HDR10 if I have to choose a high like an HDR format, because with my Panasonic I can at least adjust the brightness of the HDR10 through the unit. It has that, like, it'll fix it so it runs properly on your TV. And I can get it to look good and watchable. Sometimes with Dolby Vision, you put it on the Dolby Vision Bright setting on the TV so that you can actually see the movie, because otherwise in Dolby Vision Dark, everything's just black clipped through like half the movie. It's too contrasty. And I'll go in and adjust the gamma. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. This is all technical crap. But, yeah, I guess I just have to accept the fact as a physical movie collector that those days are numbered, and it's gonna get harder and harder for me to find the stuff that I want. But truthfully, how many times do I need to rebuy the same movie? I've looked at 4K as my end game. I mean, I am not rebuying anything over 4K. If there's another format, maybe if it's a hard drive based format or something like that. I've been thinking about like streamers and like, you know, like the hard drives, and you load your movies in and run them off the TV. That's kind of cool. Takes up less space, so you don't have all this. But I like all this. I mean, this to me is like a throwback to the video store days. For me, that's where it's at. I mean, I enjoy collecting. I like to be able to, you know, come over to look at the cover art, take a movie out and go, oh, Night of the Demons, I want to watch this movie, blah, blah, blah. Look at the box art and stuff. You know, it's a physical format, and I like to be able to hold it in my hands and look at it and just appreciate it for what it is. Like collecting books or something like that. Or records. Anybody who collects vinyl can understand that. But yeah, so I guess we just got to get used to it. It's time to get used to the fact that, well, it's going to get harder to get movies. You're going to have to order them online. You're going to have to order directly through the companies. You're probably going to be paying premiums for that. There's going to be more limited editions that you're going to have to hop on like as quickly as possible. You're not going to get it. It's just the way it's going to be. I mean, once Best Buy is out of the game in my area, I mean, and they don't even carry that much, I'm just going to be ordering pretty much directly online, which kind of takes the fun out of the hunt. It used to be fun just to go to the store and hunt down movies. But, I don't know. That's my opinion on the whole physical media dying thing. Is it dying? Yes. You know what? It's not dying. It's being reincarnated into... physical media is being reincarnated into a new thing. This online direct sales type of market. And that's what we're going to have to deal with as collectors. So, those are my thoughts for this episode. But if you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Give me your opinions on it. I'd love to hear other people's opinions. There are a lot of people watching my videos, I've noticed, that aren't subscribed. I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers here so I can make this kind of like a legit channel. I would really appreciate it if you like this, subscribe. I do SFX Loop videos every other week, and I also do FX Loop videos, which is guitar and amp and guitar gear related videos. So it's like every other week it's either the FX Loop, then it's the SFX Loop, FX Loop. That's the pattern I've been following. It might change every now and then, but that's what I'm trying to do. So, all right, thanks. I'm Jay Byrne. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, and Happy New Year. Happy 2024. I hope this is a good year for all of us. So, take care.